So temperature set to 350 degrees Celsius. And I've got the pointed tip on the end of the soldering iron. I'm going to clean the tip on my sponge, and then I'm going to drag out some of the solder. And when we're soldering, we put the solder on the iron, not on the pin, right? We don't want to heat up this pin. We want to melt the solder and then drop it onto the pin. So we're going to work from the outside for this first pin. So I drop this solder onto the iron and melt it to get a nice round bead. And then I'm going to drop that bead onto the pin. And there it is. Okay, now working from the inside, I turn my iron to the inside, being careful not to put heat against the rest of that board. Again, I'm going to put the metal right onto the iron to heat it up and create a bead. And then I'm going to drop that bead onto the pin. That one could do with a little bit more. There we go. You want to try to cover the pin and that gold circle around it so that it makes a solid connection. Okay, then coming around to the outside, I'm going to touch that solder to the end of the iron to make a bead and drop that bead onto the pin, and there it is. Now from the inside, same thing. Create a bead of metal, drop that bead onto the pin, and there we go. So we're going to work our way the whole way to the end, alternating inside and outside. Okay, it's better to go slow and be precise than to go too fast and end up with a mess that you have to try to undo later with the resin solder wick. So from the inside now, I make a bead and drop that bead onto the pin. And then back to the outside, make a bead and drop that bead onto the pin. Now from the inside, being careful not to touch the rest of the board, make a bead and drop it onto the pin. Now the outside, bead dropped onto the pin. And you can see, again, each of those gold circles is covered. Now from the inside, a nice bead and drop that onto the pin. And back to the outside. There we are. And the inside. And then the last two, outside, and last one, and there we are.